All right, here's a training for you on certainty. What is certainty? Even more important question is, why would you want to develop certainty? All right, because you can be certain in something that's wrong. Like, you can be certain that you think you know how the world works, and then you get blindsided. So I want to create this audio for you, for myself, for anyone that needs that reminder, because we do need to be reminded more often than we need to be taught something new. And certainty is something that we all face. And when I'm talking about certainty, I mean the knowingness that you have the ability and the tenacity and the will to see something through and make it happen. So this is certainty in the context of what you're creating. Now, I'm going to say something that might trigger you, but this is a critical piece, is if you're not clear in your purpose and what you're here to do, so whatever you're working on and how that fits into the bigger picture of things, if you're not clear on that bigger purpose. My goal within this audio is to help you get clear on what is the really only valid big picture purpose out there. And if you're not aligned with that, your certainty is not actually going to be founded on anything real, okay? And that has to do with this, is I call it the principle of what is best for all. The principle of what's best for all. Meaning, that is the greatest purpose you could possibly have, is to do things that are in alignment with creating the best reality for everyone. Now, if you don't know what would be best for everyone, let's just make it real simple. Let's just look at things like, let's create a world where everyone can have their basic needs met. Would it be best that someone doesn't have clean drinking water or enough food? It's like, no, it's best that someone has access to that every person has access to clean drinking water, basic food, things like that, okay? So don't go worrying about, how do I know, if people have this preference or this dietary restriction or whatever. Is it best for someone to be an entrepreneur or an employee? Don't worry about that right now. What I'm just saying is, let's look at common sense, what would make sense so that people in this world can have a great life, because that would be best for all. Now, with that understanding, right? Because again, if you're not aligned with that and you only care about yourself, because the alternative to what's best for all would be you just caring about yourself and your self-interest only, or you only care about your family and you don't care about other families, or you only care about your community or your country, but you say, I don't care about the others. That is faulty. So if your certainty is predicated on that basis, like that foundation of not caring about other people, your certainty is screwed. So now let's just say, hypothetically, you say, okay, I'm down with creating a reality that's best for everyone. I may not fully understand it, but yeah, it makes more sense to figure out what would be best for everyone than what would just be best for a few, right? Because we're all in this thing together, right? There's no human that's not interconnected with every other human. Last I checked, we're all on this earth, right? Sharing this earth, sharing the same air, made out of the same material, atoms, matter. So let's figure out what would be best, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Okay. So with that said, now let's look at certainty and how to develop certainty. So you're not going to have it all figured out right away, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. You cannot have everything figured out right away. There is a learning curve with things. But you can have your principles figured out right away. And you can have that starting point of, this would be best. So start with that, okay? Now you got the basics set up, which is, okay, I know my starting point or your intention. I know my starting point. I'm going to continually work on my starting point to be the best possible starting point. So in any situation, any interaction, any business deal, any conversation, whether I'm alone by myself, whether I'm doing chores around the house, no matter what I'm doing, my starting point, I'm gonna pay attention to my starting point. Who am I in this situation? Because your starting point will determine the end point. And when your starting point is clear and you verify their starting point is clear, meaning you can start to create real results in reality that other people can even see. That is the beginning of certainty. Now, certainty runs deep, okay? If you don't know anything about how humans work, there's a really important concept here, and it's called your first 7 years of your life, okay? In your first 7 years of your life, those experiences you had, just look at it for yourself, right? Look back to your first 7 years and just notice what pops up. Is it good, warm, loving memories? Probably not. It's probably confusion, some crying, punishment, being, not having things explained to you, right? Being tiny in a big world. Like, that was most people's first 7 years. And when you have that, guess what? Is there any certainty in that? No. There's really no certainty in that. Like, if you're crying as a kid, do you have the certainty that your mom was going to be there for you? And she's going to pick you up and basically read your mind and get you exactly what you needed? Probably not. Some moms are better than others at being able to read our needs. Some of you didn't even grow up with a mom. And so that's where our certainty already is X'd off. There is no certainty. And so you grow up first 7 years and you don't have certainty, which sucks. But that's where basically every single person listening to this, myself included, that's how we came into this world. And to make matters worse, or really just to explain the reality that we're in, is your first 7 years are foundational. It is where the vast majority of your programming or your hardware is crafted, your hardware and your software. It's basically set up, right? That's where you learn every single word you learned. That's where you get ideas, emotions, beliefs, your belief systems. All that stuff comes in those first 7 years. And if no one properly explained things to you, that's why you're walking around struggling and stuck in your life. So, with that, of course, certainty is going to be this tricky concept that we're not really aware of how it works, okay? And so, let's look at this. What can we do about it? Well, again, if we're looking at what's best here, what would be best for all, best for ourselves too, right? Because best for all includes you. So if we got clear on that's our intention, and then we look at our lives, we realize, okay, first I got to work on myself, because how the heck am I supposed to influence, have a greater influence in the world if I'm not even clear within myself? So then we got to start looking at what are these original memories and struggles and trials and tribulations from our early life that formed us, that was part of us, that we've accepted within ourselves, and we've allowed it to dictate our lives. That then becomes, that's like it's like our operating system. And our operating system is faulty because it's not based on certainty in anything. And so if you're not systematically going back through and rewiring your first 7 years, there's very specific tools you would have to use to do that. One of them is called self-forgiveness writing, and the other critical one is called Techno Tutor. Because if you're not using Techno Tutor, that gives you access to those first 7 years. Basically, the way that it's working is it's letting you get back in touch with that natural learning ability state that your body has, and you're learning directly into your body, which is where your mind actually comes from. Okay, and so when you can influence that, you can therefore influence what your thoughts are. You can influence your emotions, your feelings, your belief systems, all of that, which is pretty amazing. And so that's been my journey in developing certainty, because now I've seen that my certainty has grown immensely in what I'm here to do and what I'm capable of doing. It's like the more that I do now, the more I realize I can do. It's one of the most amazing realizations to have, because now I have certainty in what I'm capable of. So when I set a goal for myself, I have certainty in my ability to create it. I have that understanding of this is who I am. This is what I have to do every day to make it happen. And I have something called self-trust. So even if I fall, right, even if I trip and I fail, because there will be failures along the way. I'm certain of that. There will be failures along the way. But guess what? I don't have to emotionally react to the failures. And the success, right? I'm certain there will be success along the way too. And I don't have to react to that either. So the highs don't have to be so high, the lows don't have to be so low, and rather it's a best for all middle ground. And you basically ride that all the way. You direct that, you drive that all the way through. So this certainty, this is something you're going to have to look at for yourself. Because I could tell you all day long now how I'm certain in the outcomes that we're creating. How I'm certain that Jessica and I will have an amazing family together. I'm certain that we're going to disrupt the education system with the company that we have. I'm certain that we're going to have a generation of genius children who are going to also facilitate this bigger purpose that we have here. I'm certain I'm going to hit my goals this year. But what good is it for you to know that I'm certain about it? Here's my suggestion to you. Something called a word web. Even if you've already done it, doesn't matter. Here's your next phase. Is grab a piece of paper and do it right now. Don't tell yourself you're going to do it later. Unless you're literally driving or something, okay? Drive safely. Now grab that piece of paper and in the middle, write the word certainty. Okay? Write the word certainty. And then immediately let the other words pop up. And as soon as the other words pop up, you just write them down. And you can draw a line from certainty to all the words that come up. And give yourself some time. Go for like 5-10 minutes. Because here's why. When you can start to see what you've associated with the word certainty, the clarity will start to come through. Again, if you're not using the tools, the self-forgiveness writing process, and TechnoTutor specifically, you can do word webs all day long. It's not going to change how those words are held inside you. And that's another thing I'm certain of. So that's something that you're going to have to look at for yourself. Now, here's the benefit of doing this whole thing. It's because when you have certainty, you act differently. You talk differently. You hold yourself differently. The way you approach situations is different. Your calendar looks different. The way you talk with your family, if you got a wife, partner, husband, it's different. You become stable. Other people will come up to you and they'll just like being around you because you're so stable. You have a presence to you. And as you can develop that and strengthen your certainty and go through the challenges, the difficulties of life with certainty, it is the best thing. And that's what we need more of in the world. So this is my call out to people, because I have certainty that you're out there as well that can hear this. For those of you who are ready to say, okay, I realize my sense of certainty has been degraded and corrupted over my life. Like for me, everything about my life was designed to make me uncertain. That was my pre-programming. Right? That's the world system right there. Embedded into me, uncertainty. Questioning religion, questioning what's the purpose of life? Is there God? What am I doing here? Can I be certain I can have a good relationship? Can I be certain in myself? Will I follow through on my goals? All that. Everything in my life was designed to make me uncertain until I reached this point, this process. The process of working through myself, mapping out my entire mind, reprogramming myself, and basically piece by piece redesigning myself through using my directive will. And as that, who I am comes through. And it is the best thing in the entire world. Because I'm here, as part of life, as life, equal. I'm not special. I've just done a lot of work on myself, like you can too. Like I know many others that I can introduce you to, of people that are serious about this one life you're given. And it's, like I said, it's the best thing ever. When you get clear on why you're here, you know that, you're certain within that, you can stand as that, you become unstoppable. Like you actually become unstoppable. Okay? That's my desire for you, because the world needs it. I need it. We need it. We're all in this together. So you're either going to be weak, let yourself go through life going, oh, I'm uncertain and I don't know why I'm here. It doesn't mean I'm certain about every single thing. There's still a lot I have to learn, right? I've common sense. I haven't lived my whole life, right? There's still unknowns, but I have certainty in the main things that matter. And that's what I stand on. And that's my call to you, to figure that out for yourself. So do that word web. For those of you who are ready to experience certainty on the next level, so the next time you set your goals, you can actually achieve them. And the next time your partner or in your relationships, people look at you, they can say, wow, I can depend on you. You're actually dependable, right? That's my wish for you. So reach out, right? I can share some stuff with you that can really help, but I can't just really give blanket statements. It's better if we can connect one-on-one. So for those of you who want to connect one-on-one, look below. I'm sure you can find the link to my calendar and we can chat. That way you can develop the certainty once and for all. And then you have it and it's part of you and you can live that word certainty because the world needs that now more than ever. All right. See you next time.